been 3 weeks since I split these staves out, and this is the one that I debarked and backed it right away after splitting, and this was the one I was nervous about maybe cracking on me, and it did crack on the inside of it here, heartwood belly side. You can see the cracks there. So what I did was I took away a bunch of material, just took the draw knife and started going down, and right about here is about as deep as I went. And that location right there, you can see there's no crack there. If I start walking up this way, that crack is developing right there. And if I start walking back this way, there's the crack right there. So basically by getting down this deep right here, I found that the crack didn't run too deep. I still have enough material here, and I should be able to salvage this stave. So basically I got a lot of material to take away. Compare that to the rest of the piece. Got a lot of material to still take away. That's what I'm going to do in this video. Start kind of roughing out the shape. I'm not going to get too much detail in it, but we're going to take a lot of material off, and hopefully that will definitely make it dry a lot faster. And now that it's been drying a little bit, there shouldn't be such a drastic change in moisture from this surface material that's exposed to the air, and that's really what probably caused this crack. So we shouldn't have to worry about cracking anymore if I can chase this one down and get rid of all of it without getting rid of too much material and still have enough to make a bow. So I'm gonna get to it. Alright, so I know this bow is going to be about 2 inches wide, and I have 3 inches to work with. And that's good because these sides are tapered kind of to a point. And so when you lay the bow this way on the bandsaw and I try to cut, it's not cutting parallel to this back surface. So the belly surface isn't going to be parallel. It's going to be kind of angled. So what I'm going to do first is put it on its back, cut one of the edges so that it has a flat edge that's 90 degrees from the back, and then I'll be able to put that edge down and cut the belly, and it should be close enough to parallel to this surface. So that's the plan. You could do all this with hand tools, a hand plane, your draw knife, but the bandsaw makes it a lot easier. So if you have access to a bandsaw, that's probably the way to go. After I got some of that heartwood cut off, I checked that belly side surface, and I didn't find any cracks, so it looks like I was able to cut all of those cracks out, and I shouldn't have to worry about this cracking much anymore because, first off, because like I said earlier, it's lost quite a bit of moisture already, and second off, the smaller you make something, the smaller you make a piece of wood, the less likely it is to crack because there's less material there. There's not as much chance for different moisture content between the inside of the material and the outer surface. It's losing a lot of moisture quickly. So hopefully this is good now, and as we make it, as we kind of lay it out here, we'll take off a little more material and we should be good. The first step in laying it out is to get the center line here, and you just want to secure a line like this or string to either end, And one tricky thing about this one, because it has reflex, is if you pull that line really tight, you know, it's not on the back surface of the bow. So what I did was, you know, you just kind of be careful, and I pulled this tight, and then as I let it go really easily, and make sure that this part stays really straight. Kind of hard to do while I'm holding the camera, but you get the idea, and that should keep it straight the whole way. Should lay right down on there. And then I laid this out so it's kind of offset to the right a little bit. I marked my lines here on the left, and I just marked a few of them, which I'll connect with a straight edge later. Alright, so I've done quite a bit since I left off, but most of it was kind of just boring. First thing I did was cut the ends off. There's some grooves in here and in this one where when I was debarking it, the grains peeled up, so I definitely didn't want that in the back of my bow. So made sure to cut those off. I cut it down to 68 inches. That's longer than my bow is going to be. But for now, I'm going to let it dry like that. Now that I cut the ends off, I do have to reseal those because there is enough moisture in here that it would probably start cracking from these ends almost immediately. But other than that, all I really did was just take my hand plane there and started trying to even out, taking down this belly wood a little bit, trying to even it out. That side down there, you can see I didn't do anything there. You know, on the bandsaw I wasn't perfect, and that was a little thinner. This side was a lot thicker, so trying to even that out a little bit. The one side, let's see, which side was it? Looks like this side. Maybe not. No, that's the side I cut with the bandsaw. This side was the split side, and I just took the hand plane on that, evened that out, kind of brought that almost into square with everything else. I started laying out kind of the length of my bow and the center of the bow. So I know the center of the bow is going to be here. So I laid that out, and I know my bow is going to be 62 inches long. The way I figured that out is basically there's kind of a general rule of thumb. Take your draw length, multiply it by 2.24, and you'll get a general length of how long you should make one of these bows. So my draw length is right around 27.5 inches, and that comes out to 61.6 inches long. So I just kind of round that up to 62, and we can play with that number later. But other than that, like I say, this is about where I'm going to leave it for a while. Got a lot of material off, should dry a little bit better. Hopefully no more cracks show up, but I definitely got to seal the ends, and I'll catch back up with you. Thanks for watching.